Alfama's alleys glow in the setting sun, with tiles reflecting shades of blue and the scent of jasmine wafting through the air. Sophia, 42, arranges a bouquet of white roses in her small flower shop, her brown hair tied into a loose bun. Her green eyes carry a subtle melancholy, an emptiness that she cannot explain. Married for 12 years to Andre, a truck driver who spends weeks on the road, Sophia has become accustomed to loneliness, but never to the insecurity that consumes her. Have you ever felt like something is missing, even though everything is in place? Sophia mutters to herself as she cuts a red ribbon. Andre is affectionate when he is at home, but his absences leave room for doubts. He always talks about Raphael, his childhood friend, a dance instructor with magnetic charm. Raphael is the guy everyone wants to be like, Andre says, laughing. But Sophia feels a tightness in her chest. Why does he idolize him so much? That afternoon, while the sound of fado echoes from a nearby cafe, Andre calls. Sophia, I'll be arriving tonight. Raphael invited us to dinner at his loft in Bairro Alto. Shall we go? It'll be fun. His voice is excited, but Sophia hesitates. She doesn't like crowds, and Raphael, who she's never met, already bothers her with his reputation as a seducer. Please, love, I want you to meet him, Andre insists. Did Andre's betrayal shock you as much as Sophia? If the lights of the Tagus and Raphael's revelation left you breathless, comment on the word game to prove that you've watched this far. We want to know, what would you do in Sophia's place? Leave your opinion, like the video, and share this fascinating story with your friends. Sophia sighs, looking at her reflection in the store's glass. Okay, she replies, but a premonition unsettles her. She chooses a blue dress that hugs her curves, not to impress Raphael, but to prove to herself that she is still desirable. While putting on makeup, the Tagus River shines in the distance, and Sophia has no idea that that night will change everything. Have you ever trusted someone so much that you ignored your instincts? She thinks, picking up her bag. The sound of her heels echoes on the stones of Alfama, while destiny awaits her in Bairro Alto. Bairro Alto pulses with life at night, the lights of the bars reflecting in the narrow streets of Lisbon. Sophia and Andre climb the stairs of an old building to Raphael's loft, the air filled with the aroma of snacks and the distant sound of fado. Sophia squeezes Andre's hand, her heart racing. Relax, love. It'll be great, he says, but his laugh sounds forced. Raphael opens the door, and Sophia feels the air escape. He is tall, with dark skin, black hair combed back, and a smile that seems to reveal secrets. His black shirt, unbuttoned at the top, reveals a leather collar that rests against his defined chest. Sophia, finally. Andre didn't lie about his beauty, says Raphael, his voice deep and engaging. His brown eyes look at her for a second longer, and Sophia feels heat rise to her face. Pleasure, Raphael, she replies, trying to maintain her composure. Andre gives Raphael a friendly slap on the shoulder. I told you, she's special. Sophia is uncomfortable with the possessive tone, but smiles politely. The loft is modern, with exposed brick walls, a table filled with wine and tapas, and a view of the Lisbon hills. Raphael invites them to sit down, and Sophia notices his gaze returning to her, subtle but insistent. So, Sophia, Andre says you do magic with flowers, Raphael comments, pouring her a glass of red wine. He doesn't exaggerate? She laughs, uncomfortable. I just love what I do. Andre interrupts, telling stories about his travels. but Sophia notices Raphael listening to her attentively, as if her every word matters. The desire in her eyes is dangerous, and she berates herself. "You are married, Sophia." The night progresses, and Andre proposes a game. "Let's spice things up," he says, with a strange gleam in his eyes. "Sophia, how about a challenge? You try to seduce Raphael, just to see if he resists. If he falls, I get a bottle of wine. If he resists, you choose the prize." Sophia laughs, thinking it's a joke, but Andre's silence makes her tense. "What? That's ridiculous," she retorts, but Raphael smiles, leaning into her. "Don't worry, Sophia. I'm not that easy." The game continues, but Sophia feels the atmosphere change. Andre seems anxious, Raphael provocative, and she, a piece on a board that he doesn't understand. While Andre goes to the kitchen to get more wine, Raphael approaches. "Sophia, have you noticed how Andre likes strange games?" His voice is a whisper, and the touch of his hand on her arm is electric. Sophia steps back, her heart racing. "What do you mean?" she asks, but Andre returns, interrupting the moment. The tension grows, and Sophia asks herself, why did Andre propose this? What is he hiding? The sound of fado in the distance seems to echo his restlessness, while the lights of Lisbon shine like witnesses to a secret about to be revealed. Raphael's loft in Bairro Alto is shrouded in a haze of tension. The soft lights reflect on the wine glasses, and the sound of melancholic fado leaks through the open windows, mixing with the pulse of Lisbon. Sophia is sitting on the sofa, her blue dress clinging to her body, feeling the weight of Raphael and Andre's gazes. The game, proposed by Andre, that she would try to seduce Raphael to test his loyalty, hangs like a shadow. Sophia tries to laugh, but her voice shakes. "This is just a joke, right, Andre?" she asks, searching her husband's eyes. Andre, with a crooked smile, shrugs his shoulders. "Of course, love. Just to make the night fun." But her fingers drum nervously on the table, and Sophia feels a chill run down her spine. Raphael, reclining in the chair, watches in silence, his face unreadable. "Sophia, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do," he says, his voice low, almost protective. But there's something in his tone, an innuendo that puts her off. The night progresses, and Andre insists on the game, encouraging Sophia to play with Raphael. "Come on, love, show you've still got that fire," he says, laughing too loudly. Sophia stands up, indignant. "Andre, stop it. I'm not a trophy." His voice echoes, and the silence that follows is deafening. Raphael raises an eyebrow while Andre tries to soften it. "Calm down, Sophia. It's just fun." When Andre goes to the bathroom, Raphael pulls Sophia to the corner of the loft, near the balcony that overlooks the illuminated hills of Lisbon. The cool wind caresses your face, but your words are a blow. "Sophia, this isn't just a joke. Andre has done this before. He manipulates couples, tests wives, friends. It's how he deals with his own insecurities." Sophia stares at him, her heart racing. "What are you talking about?" she whispers, dreading the answer. Raphael sighs, his eyes fixed on hers. He's already convinced other women to test his friends, just to prove that he's the best. One of them ended her marriage after Andre humiliated her. He didn't tell you, but I saw it happen. Sophia feels the floor disappear. The man she shared 12 years with, who swore to love her, is using her as a pawn in a sick game. "Why are you telling me this?" she asks, voice breaking. "Because you don't deserve to be treated like that," Raphael replies, his tone firm but with a hint of guilt. "I didn't want to participate in this, but Andre insisted." The sound of Andre's returning footsteps interrupts the conversation, and Sophia turns around, her eyes teary. When Andre reappears, smiling as if nothing had happened, she explodes. "Is it true, Andre? Have you ever done this to other women? Used me to feed your ego?" Andre freezes, his face pale. "Sophia, who told you that?" "Raphael, you traitor." He advances, but Raphael holds him back. "Enough, Andre. She deserves the truth." Sophia, trembling, feels the betrayal cut like a knife. The Tagus River shines in the distance, indifferent to the pain that consumes it. Now she faces a new challenge, confronting Andre and deciding what to do with a marriage built on lies. The lights of Lisbon flicker beyond Raphael's loft balcony, but for Sophia, the world seems to be falling apart. The echo of Raphael's revelation, that Andre manipulates couples in cruel games to feed his insecurities, resonates in his mind. In Bairro Alto, the sound of sad fado seems to accompany your pain. Sophia stares at Andre, who tries to justify himself. "Sophia, love, it was just a joke. I never wanted to hurt you," he says, voice shaking, but his eyes look away from hers. "You used me, Andre. You made me feel like an object," Sophia retorts, tears streaming. She turns to Raphael, who is silent, his face tense. "And you? Why did you participate in this?" Raphael lowers his head. "I was wrong, Sophia, but I couldn't leave you in the dark." The sincerity in his voice disarms her, but Andre's betrayal is a weight she cannot ignore. Sophia leaves the loft without looking back, her heels echoing in the dark alleys. The Tagus River reflects the city's lights, and she walks to a cafe in Alfama, where she orders a sour cherry liqueur and lets herself sink into thought. How did I not see who he was? She asks herself, remembering the years of solitude while Andre traveled. The flower shop, its white roses, was her refuge. But now she realizes that she has lost herself in her marriage. In the following days, Sophia takes refuge in work. At the flower shop, she arranges bouquets with obsessive precision, trying to stifle the pain. Andre calls incessantly, leaves messages begging for forgiveness. "Sophia, I love you. Let's talk," he writes. She ignores it, but the doubt eats away at her. What if I threw it all away because of a mistake? On impulse, she schedules a session with a therapist, Dr. Mariana, who encourages her to explore her feelings. "Have you ever thought about what you want for yourself, Sophia, outside of being a wife?" Mariana asks. Sophia hesitates, but the question makes her reflect. She starts attending photo classes at a cultural center, letting the music express her pain. On one of these nights, he meets Raphael, who also frequents the place as a dance instructor. "I didn't come to bother you," he says, keeping his distance. "But if you need to talk, I'm here." Against her will, Sophia feels a connection with him. Not romantic, but of someone who understands her struggle. Sophia confronts Andre at home, a tense conversation in the candlelit room. "I want to try couples therapy, Andre. But only if you change. I'm not taking any more games," she says, her voice firm. Andre agrees, tears in his eyes. I'll do anything, Sophia. She doesn't know if she believes it, but she chooses to give it a chance. Not for him, but for herself. To end the cycle without regrets. At the flower shop, Sophia plants red roses, a symbol of her growing strength. She knows the journey will be difficult, but she is determined to rediscover herself. Fado echoes in your soul, and Lisbon, with its hills and tiles, witnesses its rebirth. Sophia's flower shop in Alfama is silent, except for the faint rustling of the red roses she carefully plants. The setting sun bathes Lisbon in shades of orange, and the Tagus River shines in the distance, reflecting the city's hills. After weeks of couples therapy and Fado classes, Sophia feels stronger, but the tension with Andre remains. He tries hard, shows up to sessions, cuts back on travel, but his promises sound fragile against the weight of betrayal. Sophia, now more aware of her value, questions whether the love she has left is enough. One night, while arranging bouquets, Sophia receives a message from Raphael. Sophia, we need to talk. It's about Andre. Something you need to know before deciding the future. Her heart races. She was hesitant to keep in touch with Raphael, but his sincerity in the past makes her consider it. What else can there be? She murmurs, the foreboding of another revelation unsettling her. After closing the store, she arranges a meeting with Raphael in a cafe on the banks of the Tagus, where the sound of live Fado creates an intimate and charged setting. In the cafe, the soft lights reflect on the tiles on the walls, and Raphael is waiting, his face serious. Sophia, I didn't want to drag you back into this, he begins, voice deep. But I discovered something about Andre. He didn't stop playing games. Sophia feels a tightness in her chest. Like this? She asks, dreading the answer. Raphael explains that, during a recent trip, Andre tried to manipulate another couple of friends, encouraging his wife to flirt with a colleague to test her husband. He swore he changed Sophia, but he lied. I saw the messages, Raphael says, showing the cell phone with screenshots. Sophia reads, Andre's words cutting like blades. It's just a joke. No one will know. Anger and pain suffocate her. How could he? She whispers, tears flowing. Raphael extends his hand, hesitantly. You deserve more, Sophia. Someone who sees you for who you are. His touch is warm, and for a moment, the desire she suppressed in Raphael's loft resurfaces, but she retreats. It's not about you, Raphael. It's about me. Sophia returns home, her heart in pieces. Andre is in the living room, watching TV, oblivious to the approaching storm. Andre, I know everything, she says, her voice firm but shaky. You lied. You continued your games even after promising to change. Andre stands up, pale. Sophia, it's not what it seems. She cuts him off. Enough. You destroyed any chance we had. The argument explodes, voices echoing in the house. Andre begs, falls to his knees. But Sophia, with tears in her eyes, makes the decision she has been putting off. I want to divorce Andre. It's over. She leaves, the sound of Fado in the distance mixing with her crying. The lights of Lisbon shine, witness to your courage. Sophia knows that the pain will accompany her, but she also feels a new freedom, as if the red roses from her flower shop were blooming inside her. Lisbon wakes up under a gentle fog, the Tagus River reflecting the first rays of sunlight. Sophia, now alone in a cozy studio in the Grassa neighborhood, packs her things into boxes, the aroma of coffee mixing with the scent of red roses she brought from the flower shop. The decision to ask Andre for a divorce, after discovering that he continued to manipulate couples in his sick games, was a deep cut, but liberating. The pain of betrayal still pulses, but Sophia feels a new vigor, as if the hills of Lisbon were encouraging her to climb. In the days after the confrontation, Andre tried to win her back. He showed up at the flower shop, with flowers stolen from her own stock, begging, "Sophia, I've changed. Give me a chance," he said, his eyes red. But Sophia, with a firm voice, replied, "You had your chance, Andre. Now it's my turn to live." She blocked him, cutting the last thread that held them together. At the Lisbon courthouse, the divorce papers were signed, and Sophia left with a heavy but relieved heart, as if she had left a burden on the steps of the building. The flower shop became her sanctuary. Sophia expanded the business, creating arrangements for weddings and events, each petal a reflection of her resilience. At night, she sings fado in a cafe in Alfama, her voice full of emotion, winning applause from strangers. "You have soul in this," says a client, and Sophia smiles, knowing that the music is healing her. Raphael, who has become an unlikely friend, appears occasionally. "You're shining, Sophia," he says, without the seductive tone from before, but with genuine respect. She thanks him, but keeps her distance, focused on herself. One afternoon, while arranging a bouquet, Sophia reflects on the past. "I got lost trying to be the perfect wife," she murmurs, cutting a red ribbon. Andre's betrayal taught her a cruel lesson. Love cannot flourish without respect. She hangs a tile painting in the store, with the phrase, "Grow where you are planted," a reminder of her strength. The streets of Lisbon, with their tiles and fado, became the stage for its transformation. Sophia doesn't know what the future will bring, but for the first time, she doesn't fear. She walks to the Tagus, the wind caressing her face, and promises to never let anyone dim her shine again. The city lights flicker, as if applauding his courage, and the sound of distant fado echoes, sealing the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. 6 months later, Lisbon sparkles under a spring sky, the hills covered in wildflowers that dance in the wind. Sophia, now 43, walks through the streets of Grassa, her loose hair flying as a reflection of her freedom. Her flower shop in Alfama has flourished, literally and figuratively. The red roses she grows attract customers from all over the city, and her name appears on local blogs as the flower artist. The studio where she lives is small, but full of life. Colorful vases, books of poetry, and a guitar that she started to learn to play, inspired by fado. Sophia doesn't talk about Andre anymore. After the divorce, he tried to contact her a few times, but she kept her distance, focused on her own journey. "I heard from friends that he left Lisbon, perhaps ashamed, perhaps in search of a fresh start. I hope he finds peace," Sophia thinks, without resentment, but with the certainty that her path is different. Therapy helped her forgive, not for Andre, but for herself, for ignoring her instincts for so long. At the Alfama Cafe, Sophia is now a constant presence, singing fados that make customers wipe away tears. "You turn pain into beauty," says the cafe owner, offering him a cherry liqueur. She smiles, thanking him, and looks at the Tagus River, which shines under the nightlights. Raphael, who has become a loyal friend, appears from time to time, teaching dance at the same cultural center. "Have you ever thought about teaching Fado?" he asks, jokingly but admiringly. Sophia laughs. "Who knows? I'm still learning to be me." One night, while arranging a bouquet for a wedding, Sophia receives an anonymous letter. "You inspired me to leave a marriage that erased me. Thank you," the note reads. Sophia keeps the letter in a box, along with other reminders of her strength. She hangs a new tile in the flower shop with the phrase, "Love begins with you." It is your truth, conquered with tears and courage. While walking along the Tagus, the sound of Fado echoes in the distance, and Sophia closes her eyes, feeling Lisbon pulsating in her heart. She learned that true love doesn't require sacrifices, but celebrates who you are. The city's hills, with their tiles and promises, remind her she is exactly where she should be, blooming like her roses, free and whole. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help us and tell us where you watch us from.